school and home. So you're attending the fourth event for the Mothers on the Mission. Abbreviation is MOMS at TCC. So MOMS provides the support network and critical resources to empower single mothers through powerful speakers, peer collaboration, individual coaching, study help, and leadership training. We're here to support you. So there will be 4 more upcoming events this semester. I look forward to seeing you in all of these events. For those who couldn't attend today's event, I will send you the recording in the email. The next event will be on Thursday, October the 22nd at the same time and the same Zoom link. So today we'll have the opportunity to hear from a powerful speaker, our own Miss Ramona Curtis, who is a single mother and a grandmother. She's the director of TCC Diversity Outreach Programs. Ms. Ramona Curtis is the Director of Diversity Outreach Programs at TCC. She's responsible for diversity outreach programs, including the Diversity Outreach Center. She has coordinated Undoing Racism, a program which focuses on understanding racism and how we can all work together to undo its negative effects. She speaks throughout the world on leadership, diversity, and other professional development topics. She holds a bachelor's in communication from the University of Texas at Arlington, a master's of sociology from Prairie View A&M University, and is currently a doctoral student at Prairie View A&M University studying educational leadership. She's genuine, outgoing, and fun. So we're very pleased to have you here today, Ramona. So next, I'm going to show you our agenda. Let's see, after our speaker, I have some resources for all of you to share with you. Some are internal critical resources that you may find helpful. Some are other resources that could help you, such as eating healthy on a good budget for moms. So those are good links. At last, Jonica Rosette, who is the president of our student organization, SWAP, will have a short discussion with our members. So can somebody tell me if Dr. Dickens is on Zoom right now?
I am on Zoom.
Oh, okay, wonderful, wonderful. So let's see. So before, let's see, I just introduced Ms. Curtis. And so because Dr. Dickens may have some other meetings going on, so I'm going to have him share a few things or say a few words with our members today.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and I'm certainly not going to stand in between you and Ramona Curtis, because you are going to enjoy hearing from her. So all I'm going to say is thank you for your hard work. I also want to acknowledge that you are at the halfway point of the semester. And so just hang in there. These are getting through school, and Ramona's going to help you all because she's in school too, and working, and a mother, and a grandmother. So I'm not going to steal her story, but you need to know you can do all of these things. And this midway point of the semester, do not give up. This is not the time to say things are so tough. This is not when you give up. This is actually when you find every resource out there to keep you going. So we're here to help you, to be your accountability person. If you just need to come and complain, that's okay. You can come and talk to us, but we're going to put you back on track so that you finish your education and you do better. So I've said enough, and I'm finished, and you can go right on to Miss Curtis, and I know you are going to enjoy everything she shares.
So we're really, really pleased to invite Miss Ramona Curtis here to speak to us. Her topic is Good and Ready, Looking Forward. I know that she is ready. She has been ready for more than 20 years. So we're lucky to have you, Ramona.
Thank you. If you would stop sharing, Joy, so I can share.
Yes. There we go. Thank you for the reminder.
That's okay. Well, good morning, everyone. I am truly delighted to be here with you all. I would much rather we all be in the same space, but that's okay because the message will still be received. So thank you all for having me. And I am glad to be here. I titled this conversation Good and Ready, because I think there are a lot of times that things happen around us that we don't understand, or we don't know where it fits into our own lives. But if we just keep ourselves centered and just keep pressing, like Dr. Dickens said, that we're at the halfway mark. If we just keep pressing, you will be ready for so many wonderful things that are getting ready to happen to you, things that you could not have even fathomed that were going to happen. Now, Joy has already introduced me, so I will move forward on this. But I have to tell you, I love this quote by Maya Angelou. And when I read this, I was like, you know what? I'm still in this. This is going to be me. This is going to be what I'm going to do. This is going to be how I'm going to live my life. She says, my mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do it with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. And this is just like a wonderful affirmation that if you got up every day and read this, no matter how tough the day may seem, you just know that you're going to more than survive. You're going to thrive. And as Dr. Dickens said, yes, I was a single mom at the point that I was finishing my master's degree. I was going through a divorce in the middle of finishing my master's degree. And the reason I love this quote is I more than survived. And I'll tell a little bit about my story as we go on through here, but I more than survived in ways that I didn't know. But I knew I had to be good, and I had to be ready to receive whatever was coming my way. So you just be prepared for the good, for the bad, for the ambiguity, the things that we don't know, whether it's good or bad, it's just it. And you do it with, you go through your classes with that passion, have that passion to persevere. And then also have that compassion for others, that compassion for yourself, to know that these are things that are going to get me where I need to go. So I have to give myself a little compassion on the way. I can't take myself so serious. And I love humor. Sometimes I laugh at myself. Sometimes I watch something that's funny. Sometimes I listen to something that's funny. And one thing that you want to do is you want to be your authentic self. You want to have that style that makes you uniquely you. Now, being a single mom is kind of difficult. We have to balance our feelings, right? Does anybody have to do? No one. Am I the only one that has to balance feelings? Because here's the thing. You're managing being a student and you're managing being a parent. Now, those are just two roles, because you may have other roles. You may be active in an organization such as this, so you have that role. It may be church. You may have a role where you're caring for or a sibling or something. But the role strain of managing who you are as a student and who you are as a mother can come crashing into each other. And so when that happens, sometimes there's some anger, as a single mother. I don't know how many of you are still in touch with the father of your children and how much help you get there. Sometimes that can cause us to really come unglued, to make us a little sad, a little angry. And sometimes loneliness sets in as you're trying to also be that woman that you are. And at the same time, you're that mother, and you just feel like no one understands. So I am so happy for Moms on a Mission, because it gives you that group that will understand what you're going through. And then there's a lot of guilt. I have to tell you, my son, when I was in school, his dad, was a police officer and had some very some problems with substance abuse, and my son knew that, and we were working through being a child of an alcoholic, and I thought that was important. And then here I am in school and working. I'm working hard at work, trying to get the promotion, and then I'm in school working hard, trying to graduate with my master's so that I can get the promotion. And I picked my son up from school. I don't know how many of you are juggling jobs as well, because that's another thing too. So I'm picking him up from school just to drop him off at my parents, just to get back to work so no one misses me. That is a juggle. So he says to me, well, he didn't say this to me. He just said it in the back seat of the car. So I'm driving and he goes, "My mother is a workaholic. My dad is an alcoholic." And I can't tell you the guilt I felt. I can't tell you, as a student, as a mother, and as a single mother who did not grow up in a single parent household, the guilt of raising my child and having to rely on everyone else while I juggle work and school was very difficult. So there's some balancing that we have to do when we're single parents and have all of these different roles. But we get through it, right? We get through it. And the way we get through it is to know who we are. Like I told you, when I got my divorce, you have to understand the way I was raised. I am on the cusp of baby boomer and Gen X. So the way I was raised, a woman did everything. I was raised to get the ring by spring. In other words, you have to have the husband before you graduate from college, the ring by spring. And you take care of your husband, and you have children, and you take care of your children. And, I was not raised to understand who I was as a woman, other than what the rules of being a woman were in terms of homemaker, housewife, all of those things. And I used to think, is something wrong with me? Because those are resonating as deeply with me. And there's nothing wrong with those. There's nothing wrong with those. What was wrong with that message is I didn't get to say that's who I was and who I wanted to be. I was raised in a house that told me these are the things that you do because you're a woman. So if my household was telling me what I ought to do and be, instead of me being authentic, I was trying to be something that I wasn't. It's okay to be those things if that is who you are. But you will have, once you know yourself, once you know what your passion is, once you know who you are, what your giftedness is, And there are so many things that joy can help you with, even finding your giftedness. There are so many assessments that we can look at ourselves. And I tell people all the time, I love doing assessments because I want to make sure that when I do this assessment, that this assessment is how I see myself. And if it's not, it's okay, because I get to define who I am. And I don't, I remember the first time I went out on a date after I was divorced. My date asked me what was my favorite color. I had no idea. I knew my husband's favorite color. I knew my son's favorite color. I even knew my brothers and sisters' favorite color. But I had no idea what my favorite color was or what I liked to do, because what I liked to do was taking care of my husband and taking care of my child and doing those things that people told me I should be doing at this time in my life. But once I got a good understanding of my own giftedness, my own values, and understood that these are the things that I want for me. And that's what's so wonderful about this group that you're in, helping you find value in yourself and in those things that inspire you, those things you have passion about, being able to see yourself, being able to understand that I'm a student and I'm going places. I'm a great mom, and my children and myself were going places. And with that, you have to know those non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables? How many of you know your non-negotiables? And we can talk about those. Great. We can talk about those in the Q&A time, because I really want us to have some time in the Q&A. And when I found out what my non-negotiables were, I just started living and got stronger and stronger and stronger, because you can only control what you can control, right? Let me say it one more time. You can only control what you can control. So someone like me trying to control everything and everybody. How many have been there? Trying to control everything and everybody. You can only control you. So when things get tough, when the anger sets in, the loneliness sets in, or what have you, this is what you do. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Let's move. This is what you have to do. You have to stop. You have to halt. And in this, we never, remember these 4 letters, HALT. You never want to get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired. When you get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired, what you must do is say, what can I control? Okay? What can I control right now? What can I control? I can go and get me something to eat. I can do that. I don't have to be hungry right now. I can control my anger. I can do that. No matter what's happening around me, kids running around, my baby's father in my ear, or some other person's in my ear, I can control how I respond to that. I get to do that. I can't control what someone else is doing, but I can control how I respond to my anger. And my loneliness. I can respond. And when we respond, it's not to say, oh, I'm no longer lonely. If you're lonely, you can say, oh, I'm no longer lonely. But what you can find is that you're not alone. You may have some feelings of loneliness, but you're not alone. If nothing else, you have the MOM group, right? And that's when you stop. You stop and think about this. Okay, I'm lonely, but let's put this in perspective. Let's put this loneliness in perspective. Why is it this? What am I missing? And you figure that piece out. And you figure that piece out, and you go to the resources that you need to be able to do that, because you can. You can control that. And if you're too tired, and I want to say this about being tired, your body will know. If you do not give it rest, it's going to say, I'm done. So you have to make sure, you have to stop, and you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. All 4 of these things are part of self-care. And this is a self-care that you give to yourself. So what are some things that I do? I was so busy that I didn't have time to cook anything to eat or what have you. So one of the things that I did is, on that day that I had an open window, I would prepare snacks and food and things that are easy to grab. You want to be careful eating too much processed food, so you can prepare those things so they're already ready, and you can just throw things in. Some folks will tell you that when Ramona was working on her master's, when she was a student and she was in school, I planned everything. Let me tell you, before I went to bed, my house was ready for the morning. My son's cereal bowl was on the table with the spoon right. I had it turned over and the spoon turned over. I poured the amount of milk that he needed in that bowl. It was already ready in a cup in the refrigerator. And I pre-poured the cereal in a little Ziploc bag. So in the morning, I'd wake him up, and he had to take his bath at night and be ready in the morning. So when he woke up, washed his face, went to the table, and he could pour his cereal, pour his milk. So I taught him how to do that. He's like 6 years old, so he's pouring his milk and he's getting himself ready. The orange juice is already in the glass while I'm taking a shower and getting ready, because I stayed up late studying. That was the time I stayed up late studying. So I would have the next day, during the day, to work and not have to think about school. I could work and then pick him up from school and then have dinner with him and then go back to cleaning up and everything and getting him ready for bed and everything and setting everything up for the next day. And that really helped me. And I was extremely focused on that. I wish I still had some of that organization now that I'm working on my doctorate. I need some of that organization now. But one of the things when we talk about feeling guilty, I know that I probably missed some moments with my child. But the precious thing about what you're doing, and I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me good when I say this. You are leaving a legacy. You may not think your children or your parents or your friends or other family members and community people aren't looking at you. They are looking at you as a role model. Look what you're doing. You're persevering with your children. You're going to school. You're creating this wonderful life ahead of you, and people are watching you, and they are so proud of you, whether they say it or not. And this just happened to me 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, my nephew calls me, and I love my nephew so much. You never know whether or not your extended family is watching what you do. But my nephew said to me, he said, Aunt Mona, there are so many women in this family that are looking at you and they want to be just like you. I could not believe that because no one tells me. No one tells me. And sometimes I do feel guilty that I'm not giving enough to the family. But that was such a prize for me. And to hear my son sometimes, and my son is almost 40 years old. He's 38, 37, 38. It's a shame. I don't know how old he is. But I started my master's when he was 4 years old. And he watched me go to school. And he's always, when I hear him speak, he's a state representative in Oklahoma. And when I hear him speak, sometimes he'll talk about watching his mother go to school and how important that was to have a role model who was persevering through adversity, who still kept a sense about herself, who still had that passion and compassion, who still was responsible through all the hurdles and barriers that she had to break through. So know that you're leaving a legacy for your children, for your community, for your extended family, and for your friends. My friends always tell me things that, man, I just wish I had half the energy as you. And I'm always thinking, man, I wish I had half the energy as you. So we all, and I said all that to say, we all live our own lives, and our values system may be different, but the bottom line is we are authentically who we are. And be you. Be you. Stay ready for those opportunities to be who you are. Stay ready for what's ahead. And this is a picture of my son. And what I want to do as I leave you before our Q&A is I want to read to you. I have so many things that I draw my strength. So I brought some of them to show you when I want to get me some juice, some energy. I have some go-to books, and you may have some go-to books too. But this is a book called Souls of My Sisters. And this book has different stories of different women and how they persevere and the good things in their lives. And this book is another book that I love. It's called For Colored Girls Who Consider Suicide When the Rainbow Was Enough. And I love reading the little prose in here. And so I find reading these books help energize me through that time. But the book that I want to share with you today is Iyanla Vanzant's book, One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. And if you guys do get a library, I would suggest this book be in there. I want to share with you, if you would allow me to. So my undergraduate degree is in radio, television, speech, and journalism. So I hardly ever get to use it. But I want to use it today with you and read to you the way I love reading to myself. One day, my soul just opened up. It's a poem in Iyanla Vanzant's book. One day, my soul just opened up, and things started happening. Things I can't quite explain. I mean, I cried and I cried like never before. I cried tears of 1,000 mothers. I couldn't even feel anything because I cried until I was numb. One day my soul just opened up. I felt this overwhelming pride. What I was proud of, only God knows. Like the pride of 100,000 fathers basking in the glory of their newborn sons. I was grinning from ear to ear. One day my soul just opened up and I started laughing. And I laughed for what seemed like forever. Wasn't nothing particularly funny, but I laughed anyhow. I laughed the joy of a million children playing in the mud. I laughed till my sides ached. Oh God, it felt so good. One day, my soul just opened up. There were revelations, annihilations, and resolutions, feelings of doubt and betrayal, vengeance and forgiveness, memories of things I'd seen and done before, of places I'd been, although I didn't know when. There were lives I lived, people I loved, battles I fought, victories I've won, and wars I had lost. One day my soul just opened up and outpoured all the things I'd been hiding and denying and living through that had not just happened moments before. One day my soul just opened up and I decided I was good and ready. I was good and ready. Thank you. And y'all stay good and ready. So many wonderful things are going to be there. Be authentic. Remember your halt. Don't ever let yourself get too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And live your best life. Thank you, Joy, and I'll entertain questions.
Thank you so much, Ramona, for the wonderful and, thought-provoking process that we're all experiencing. And it's very touching. I feel the same as a mother. And now we're going to leave the floor to all our attendees today. So please feel free to ask your questions.
No questions?
I actually do have a question. So when you get to that point of where you feel like you're just completely overwhelmed and you're on the verge of that breakdown, but you feel like you still can't go on. Well, you have to go on, but you feel like you're just on that verge. What are some different things that you do to kind of center yourself back at that, okay, I'm good moment?
Girl, let me tell you something. For a long time, because finances, we didn't even talk about finances. We didn't even touch on that. Finances were getting the best of me as I was in school and working and everything. I love gospel music, and you all have your own things, but I love gospel music. But there's a song by Reverend Clay Evans, that says, somehow, some way, things are going to work out somehow. I got up every morning with that song. I went to bed every night with that song. And with that song, I really believed that. And so that song ministered to me, and I had to hold on to it. I just listened to it over and over and over again, played it in my car, and certainly my outlook on things definitely got better. So I just really loved that. And Dr. Dickens has put some tips in the chat on 8 things to do when you want to give up. But for me, that was it. And then like I told you, I loved listening to reading and listening to my prose and my poetry and reading other stories. When you read other stories, you find out you're not alone. And so those things work as well. So what are some things that you like? Is that Stephanie who asked that question?
Yes, ma'am.
What are some things that you like, Stephanie?
I read, I sing. I used to dance at one point in time.
Oh my gosh, those things help a whole lot too.
And I do meditation music.
Yeah, find those ways. Those things help. Do you feel better after you've done those?
Sometimes I do, and then there's other times where I feel like that I haven't done enough or that I'm still missing something.
Yeah, well, one of the things that, like I said earlier, just center yourself and think about what can I control right now? What are things I can control? And then that's one of the things that I have to do. The reality has to set in that this is what I have. And so sometimes you might call a friend. But I would just look for those areas. But what I did is I listened to gospel music, but particularly some way, somehow things are going to work out. And they always do. They always do. Good question. Any more questions?
Caroline, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do.
I know that.
Yeah. Are you with me? Okay. My question goes like this: that when you finished your master's degree, were you trying to wait so you can gather some finances together in place before you decided to go for your doctorate, or you just choose to say, okay, I'm done for now?
Yeah, that's very good. You kind of cut out, but I think I heard your question right. Yes. When I finished my master's, that was what I needed to advance. So I just had no thought of working on a doctorate. It wasn't until later, after I became an empty nester, when my son went off to school and I bought a house and I started, just working and being involved in different organizations and stuff. But I'm a lifelong learner. And so I needed something, at school, I just found refuge in school. So I went back because I finished my master's in 1990. And I went back to work on my doctorate in 2015. So it was 5 years ago that I started working on my doctorate. But I started working on it just because I needed something to do for me.
Thank you.
But I guess, Carol, my advice to you would be think about where you're headed and what you want to do. And if a doctorate is what you need, then I would go ahead and pursue it. Because this was something that I was doing for me. Okay, let me check this. See, my question was okay, good. So what are you doing just for you? Okay, that is such a good question. What am I doing just for me? Well, one of the things that my doctorate itself really is just for me. I've already retired from one place. I retired from Baylor University, so I'm kind of on a second career. But I was in the midst of doing my doctorate because I was an empty nester. But the things that I do just for me, I just bought a speaker because I like to sing. And so my sister actually purchased it. We've been looking for speakers, and I have a microphone on it. And let me tell you guys, I just have fun. I have fun. I do karaoke by myself. And I do those things. I'm also active in my sorority. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And so I'm active in that sorority as well. And I do those things for me. And I'm a community person as well. I love giving back to community. And so been kind of busy with the elections and stuff. I'm a member of our local chapter of the NAACP. So, yeah.
So you have a karaoke machine?
Well, actually, I have a big giant speaker with a microphone on it, and then you get your karaoke music from YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good way.
I know.
Someday we're gonna have a party with you.
I don't know. I'm probably the only one who really likes my voice. What other questions do you have? I love talking to mothers who are students. Yes, single mothers who are students.
What organization did you just mention that you were helping?
So Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
No, the other one. With politics.
The NAACP?
Yeah.
Yes, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. It was founded in 1909.
Okay, awesome.
And it is a diverse organization. It's for everyone of every race.
Does it matter which political party they are affiliated with?
It does not matter, but it certainly is a group for marginalized, for those who need social justice. So that's I guess if you say something about who I am, I'm really a human relationist, social justice advocate. I love traditional things, but I also love social justice things. Oh, I love Stephanie. Yeah, I've done that before too, where you check into a hotel and just kind of chill. I've done that before. Yes. Matter of fact, my sisters and I, we have done that before. We've done it together, and then we do it on our own as well. I know you all have to have some. I haven't heard anybody ask me questions about their children. Oh, go ahead, Stephanie. I'm sorry.
I haven't done it with anybody. It's just more of, I had a mental breakdown, and that was one of the recommendations. Is kind of like for me to just get away from everything, a way to de-stress, I guess. So
absolutely.
That's an option if you, since we stay in Oklahoma, and the casinos are always giving away free hotels, so.
No, that's great. I've done. Like I said, I've done that. Yes. So, no questions about children or anything like that, or no questions. You guys are all surviving as moms. I haven't gotten a mom question yet.
I got a mom question. So, how old is your? I don't think I heard the part where you said how old your son was. But seeing how you have been in school for a while and that you've gone through multiple things, was there a time at one point where you decided that you needed to focus more on you than on your kids when it came to school and what you wanted, or versus it was just more about getting your kids accomplished if they're older?
Yeah. So one of the things that I had to learn, because this wasn't modeled for me, like I told you, I'm on the cusp of baby boomer and Gen X. So I had parents who were from the veteran generation, where there were well-defined roles of what mothers and what women should do who have children. And one of the things that my mother even said to me, and I love my mom so much, she was such a good mother. And I know she told me after my divorce and I was going to school, she told me, you really need to raise your child first and then think about going back to school. And that goes back to the guilt that I was telling you about. But I think my mom was happy to see me persevere, but I had to think about what was going to make me happy, because if you're not happy, your kids are not going to be happy. And if you find joy only in your kids and not in you and the joy of being a mother, instead of a joy of just having something to hold on to, the joy of being a mother is being that healthy mother that can be there for your children. So you have to do those things where you focus on you, because you have to be, and it's not a selfish focus. Okay. So let's talk about this. It's not a selfish focus. It's a selfless focus. A happy mother has happy children. And so that's what you want. You want your children to see that you are happy, so then they can be happy as well. And you do. You know, we had on my refrigerator was our calendar. I wrote everything on the calendar. And we look at, my son has been waking himself up since he was in the first grade by an alarm clock, because, you know, I taught him early how to do those things that were going to help the family move forward. So when you tell your kids that they're part of this unit that's moving forward, you be honest. Kids, I tell you, kids are resilient, and kids can take those things that you're telling them, and if you're honest with them, if everything, you know, if everything has a purpose, so you're telling them the purpose of what we're doing, and they just become those kids that live life with purpose. And that's what I did in terms of whether or not I'm sacrificing my child and what they're doing versus to go and get this education. There was a balance of what's going to have this family. You know, the poster, the slide that I showed you with Maya Angelou, what's going to keep this family thriving with passion, this family of passion, this family of compassion, and involve your kids in what you're doing as well. You know, talk to your kids about what it's like being a student. And sometimes you can tell them that you understand this whole thing about studying, you know, those kind of things. So involve them in those conversations. So it's not like somebody's losing something while the other person's winning. No, this is a family unit and we're doing this together. Does that make sense? It's not easy. The words are coming out of my mouth. It's not easy, but you can do it because, you know, I'm a living witness. I'm a living witness. I've been there. I've been at the giving up stage or the wanting to give up stage. But I come back and I center, what can you control right now? What can you control? What can you be doing right now? And it was so much so till, I think back then I had a little OCD, because if my house was messy, I couldn't do anything. But you know what I would tell myself when I felt overwhelmed? Just clean that one corner, just that corner, just move that, just move one thing. And then you just start feeling better. You feel the forward movement. So, yeah, you learn those little tricks of the trade.
Is there any other questions?
Well, yeah, I want to get to Jazzy's question.
Oh, okay, great.
Feeling distant and managing that. You know, I think you have, you know, being a part of this organization and all the tips that Dr. Dickens and Ms. Phelps is giving you are going to help. And if you have a coach, then you share, Jazzy, share those feelings with your coach. They can point you in that direction. And just understand that what your purpose is in taking care of your sister, you know, that role that you have to have and the reason why, always put that in context and know that that is a very noble piece, okay? So, and just understand that, you know, it may get hard, but it's also, there's a value in it. There's such a big value in it. And there's a value in being responsible. And know that your sister is looking at you and what you're doing and those accomplishments. But please get your village, rely on your village, talk to your village. When you're feeling alone, get that village working.
Yes, I'll be glad to talk to all of you by taking appointments. You can make appointment with me, for example, for tomorrow, Friday. So that's as quick as that, or today.
And Jasmine, as Dr. Dickens has put in the chat, well, for everyone, Dr. Dickens has put the wellness services in the chat. So you want to as well. They are wonderful. They are wonderful in helping you navigate through life. This has been so great, Joy. If I don't have any more questions, you can give them my contact information.
Yes.
Certainly you can reach out to me if you need to.
Yes. So you will have Miss Ramona Curtis contact info, and she's very pleasant to talk with, and you can ask her any questions with the email. I will follow up with that also. So I like that book you mentioned, Ramona, and we're going to try to order that book for maybe weekend pack for moms and things like that. So that's the follow-up questions. So everyone, if you have any more questions, please feel free to let me or Ms. Curtis know so that we can forward this question to her. And we all work in the same department. So, she's always very pleasant to talk with. So I just really love her, and you can see that she's a really good speaker. So, all right, thank you again, Miss Ramona, and feel free to, if you're busy, feel free to do whatever your commitment is. So. Okay, next, I'm going to discuss a few things here. This is a very good resource, what's going on October 19th on Monday, so please take notes. Their transfer student month, October is the transfer student month, so they offer 2 sessions. One is at 12 p.m. This is the link to click. The other one is 6 p.m. You can click on that. All the different universities. I know Caroline is graduating, right? So you may see this is beneficial. So you can talk, even if you are not close to that graduation line, you can still try to plan on which university is better for you in terms of finance and program and future career. So you can take advantage of this one. It's also, I think the link is also a daily, recorded on the daily. So please also feel free to ask your questions. We can have an open mic. Right now it's casual, so feel free to let me know how I can help. So let me see. The next one I'd like to share is some help. I found some helpful links. This one, Eating Healthy on a Budget Raise Successful Kid. This is a very good link that based on some of your requests. And since Ramona has, some of you, for example, Stephanie has mentioned about this the mental health. I think next session we're going to invite a TCC wellness specialist to talk about the mental health. So please look out for that invitation. Let's see. So this is a good website here, 15 healthy foods for about $2. So I just love to research these. So how do you eat a nutritious diet while keeping your grocery bill low? The good news is that the cheap eats aren't necessarily unhealthy. So from the picture, you can see foods like whole grains, vegetables, and beans. I've been listening to some financial shows about eating beans. Those are good alternative to white rice, for example. So beans, that can save you a lot of money if you soak it and cook it in a slow cooker, right? So that probably takes there are some packages. Usually it's pretty cheap. So this particular recipe is brown rice, and then it tells you the casserole and different things. I know Dr. Dickens is a good cook. So because he told us about the other day about cooking some stir fries and eat for several meals, that's another good thing. So a good strategy for saving money. So let's see. Okay, so that's for us to plan for as a student organization. We will apply for special funding, and then we can have some interesting activities for our moms to do together. All right, so am I sharing this with you? Yeah, I am, right? Okay, so I'm sorry, you may not have saw this website. Okay, so let me go back real quick. But anyway, I was sharing this screen, the real website with you. So there are also some other budget tips on clarkhoward.com, for example, and then you can hear him talking about saving money tips. Let's see. The next event I'm going to let you know is Trio has joined our event, the first event and second event, to talk about their what's going on here. They're holding a Women's Empowered webinar on Thursday, November the 5th. You can write this down. Everybody who participate will earn $5 quick trip gift card, good for gas, food items. And then you can also have the opportunity to apply for $1,000. And they also have invited speakers to talk about overcoming math fears with Tracy Jackson and Succeeding at College online courses. So the webinar is free. So please make sure to take notes on that. Here is the link. If you would like, I can send this the links to you so that you can register for that one. So, okay, so we do have a few minutes for Jonica to talk about our e-board and our Students Who Are Parents organization. This organization is for us, single parents. It could be single mom, single dad, or students who are parents who are interested to get involved. You could be a mom or dad who are interested in this too. So we welcome all students. So I hand the mic to Jonica.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Joy. I'm sorry, I do have to leave. I have a prior commitment that began at 1. Again, I'm the president for Students Who Are Parents. We do still have a few executive board positions left to fill. If you are interested in joining the e-board, please email me at jonica.rosette@tulsacc.edu. Or you can send Joy an email. She can forward your information to me and I can reach out to you. We have our vice president online right now, Jazzy Bates. If you can say hi, Jazzy. She also has to leave at 1. And then we have our activities coordinator, Brandy, online as well. Brandy, if you want to say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Brandy is currently working on activities for us to get together and do. We do have to complete a RFA form and submit it to SGA by Tuesday at 8 p.m. in order to get funding. So if you have any ideas or anything you want to mention to Brandy, please hit her up as soon as possible. Brandy, if you could maybe give them your email address in the chat or something.
Okay.
That way we can start planning an activity and get the funding we need. I did find out our account, we have $126 currently in our account.
Great.
So if we do want to do an event, we will need to do the RFA form this week. So please keep that in mind. And at this time, I'm going to hand the floor back over to you, Joy.
Okay, thank you so much. We're on time right now, and again, thank you, everybody. I will be contacting all of you for to offer help academic coaching. So please feel free to email me too if you would like to talk to me on Friday tomorrow. So next session would be most likely would be the wellness section. So please, so we're gonna. That's one more question is for Dr. Dickens. Do you have anything to say? Did I forget to mention anything?
No, I don't have additional items to add, but thank you for asking.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Great afternoon. Enjoy your week.
You too. Thank you, Janica.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.